I don't understand how celebrities don't do the next logical step of the actions that they're about to take.
Everybody got a do as I say, not as I do opinion. That's the problem. Everybody wants to put their shit out there, but everybody wants you to smell their shit, but you don't want to smell theirs. You know, it's
I don't think anyone should be smelling anybody's shit, Corey. I gotta tell you.
So, things a little rough over there in the House of Mouse between this girl right here, Gina Carano, and Letitia Wright, who's the other person we'll be talking about. Mickey is about to lose his mind. He is like, don't I pay you well? Don't you have a nice job? Don't you like all of the adoring fans I gave you? It's not so bad a life I have for you, is it? And all I ask for you in return is to do your job and shut the fuck up. Can y'all do that? Can y'all stay out that Twitter? Can y'all stay out that social media and quit giving your opinions? At least the ones that get people all pissed off and crazy and I don't know, start messing with my money. We have here Letitia Wright. Y'all saying Letitia Wright? You talking about Suri? You talking about little Suri from Black Panther? She's causing trouble? I mean, I know she got a little bit of attitude.
I can't wait to see what kind of update you make to your ceremonial outfits.
Nigga, f you. You know, you see that she has a little bit of attitude. Yeah, but really a troublemaker? What did she do? And Christian, you know more about this story than I do. When it came out, I was doing another show, and I really haven't read up a whole lot on this. But they're saying that people are surprised to learn that she is possibly an anti-vaxxer. And I know that these are crazy times where people believe in all kind of things, and it's kind of hard to bring up because you don't know how many people are maybe even anti-vaxxers that are watching this. Hopefully we can talk about this in a way that is understanding and won't, like her, piss people off. But I don't know, man. What is your opinion on this? Because on the one hand, actors should be able to voice their opinions. They're not slaves to any kind of business or studio. And she even went out to say that, look, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. And we'll get into that in a little bit. She said, I'm not trying to hurt anybody, but I just want to talk about what I believe are my opinions and what I believe it might be a little healthier for people. I'm looking out for y'all and y'all getting mad. Just to show you some of a little background before I pass off to Christian here, which I'm about to do in like 30 seconds. But this is she put out a video, and the video is actually gone.
Oh, they removed it finally. Nice.
Yeah, they removed it. And why did they remove it? Because, well, they said it was fucking nuts. Right here it says, I forgot where I got this from, what article this is, but it says, without comment aside from a praying hands emoji, Wright on Thursday night tweeted a 69-minute video from YouTube, the YouTube channel called On the Table, which features lengthy commentary from Tomi Ariyomi, a senior leader with Light London Church and speaker, in which he questions the legitimacy of the COVID-19 vaccination, appears skeptical of climate change, accuses China of spreading COVID-19, and makes transphobic comments. Her tweet has since been deleted, and YouTube has removed the video for, quote unquote, violating YouTube's terms of service. All right, Christian, with everything that we know now, fill us in more on this and tell us what you think.
No, the good news is I didn't make it that far in the video to hear the transphobic shit. I just heard all the other extremely ignorant shit that the guy was saying. Yeah, I mean, look, I think this is a really tricky situation because I want to agree with you, I think, wholeheartedly, which is like just because people are actors does not mean that they should not be able to have their own personal beliefs or be able to express their own opinion, right? Yeah. Free speech is all free speech. I mean, not just the speech that you like, right? I'm the first one is like, hey, if fucking neo-Nazis have the permits and they want to peacefully sit there and be assholes, that's their right to do it. It's my right to call them assholes. You know what I mean? So at the same time, you know, it's like I want to be careful that we're not censoring people. But I think it's a weird situation where, like, yeah, what she did more or less is she went out there and she posted something that was riddled with inaccuracies and kind of like really shitty rhetoric. But that's like whatever. That's one thing in and of itself. The problem happens to be when people start trying to talk back to you. Some of them clapping back, some of them being, you know, attacking and their kind of rhetoric. But for the most part, people just trying to inform her. And when you get indignant about it, I think that's kind of where I get shitty with it. She was given plenty of opportunities to kind of walk it back. She posted this video. This video went through a laundry list of bad shit that's not real or based in any kind of actual scientific community. And she was trying to pass it off as, no, this is the reason why no one should trust this vaccine.
Yeah.
The guy's not a medical professional. You know what I mean? He's a religious guy. And I'm not saying science and religion can't coexist, but they certainly didn't coexist in that video. So basically, she put out some bad information. Then she got really shitty and indignant with anyone who questioned her for it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those situations where you're like, I'm annoyed with her as an actress, but I'm thinking about the implication about what you said, right? Which is like, you're fucking with Disney's money. Black Panther 2 is already going to have an uphill battle when they were trying to figure out what they were going to do in the absence of Chadwick Boseman. And a lot of the speculation was saying that she was going to take on a much more prominent role in the sequel. You know, all of that's still up in the air. She was the smartest character in the film. So it's a little heartbreaking to see that fiction and life aren't exactly married because...
Well, I don't know. Maybe you know, she got all that Wakandan technology and vibranium that they don't need vaccines, man. Maybe we ain't listening close enough, you know? I don't know.
Well, that's my criticism with the whole Black Panther mythos, right? Which is like, you have technology and shit that can help the whole world, but you're hoarding it. You know what I'm saying? Which they address in the film. I'm not being shitty about it.
Yeah.
But you know, that's kind of the point, which is just like, it's disappointing. She was going to be the smartest. Well, she's the smartest character in there. She was allegedly going to take on a much more prominent role, and they're thinking to shoot this in the next 7 months, right? I heard June 2021. So if that's the case, it's a little late in the game for them to try to do another rewrite. But let me ask you this. Is another rewrite even warranted here? I disagree with her statement, and I don't like her opinion, but that doesn't mean that it should cost her work, at least not for this. Am I off base? Or I mean, what's your opinion on it?
You know, I would look. Ryan Coogler, who directed Black Panther, I'm sure that he's somewhere talking about why now. Out of all the times, man. I mean, we have a good thing, girl. You were lining up. People talking about they like you. You were lining up to take to take the throne. Why do you? You know, that's what gets me, man. When these people get a good gig, that Twitter bird is just calling them, man. And they always put this crazy shit out there. It shouldn't be surprising because 2020 is, of course, I'm going to say this nicely, is full of polarizing ideas. And then I'm going to be an asshole about it and say, and also full of fucking crazy people who are asking us more and more to take them seriously. And I'm just thinking, why can't people just sit the, you know, why do we have these strong opinions where people just can't sit the fuck down and just shut up and enjoy your money and your fame and this nice job that you got? That's what really bugs me. I mean, I know people feel like I should be able to say what I want to say whenever I want to say it. However, my problem with coming out and saying this right now, in addition to just like up everybody else's flow, when everybody else is trying to get this done and you got now one person causing a problem, sure, go ahead and have your opinion. But I draw the line when what you say truly is rooted in problems where there are theories that have no basis in anything. And I'm not one of those people that wants her to be canceled. No, man, you know, the hell with all that cancel business, man. I'm not one to do that. And she did come out and say right here, my intention was not to hurt anyone. My only intention of posting the video was to raise my concerns with what the vaccine contains and what we are putting in our bodies. Nothing else. However, Thank you for looking out for me. Thank you for caring. However, when people are putting bullshit out there, we can't do this shit where we're like, oh, your intentions were well, sir, you're excused. Oh, let's be fair and see both sides. People, this anti-vaxxers bullshit is very, 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 not only, it's like to say problematic, it's dangerous. And you can't sit up here and put your opinions out there and then get upset and defensive when people, talking about, I didn't mean to hurt anyone, but people are hurt by your misinformation. Look, can I just point out something real quick?
Please.
So I had to look into the anti-vaxxer stuff at one time because I have a friend that's an anti-vaxxer. I want to understand him. I also want to understand the other side. And doing a lot of research and looking at both sides, it is still riddled with baseless theories, man. Right now, measles was totally eradicated in some places, and now measles are coming back in some spots because people are like, oh shit, I don't know about vaccinations. And it's going to be very, very tricky to dangerous when we start trying to put the COVID vaccine out there. You can go to a whole site where they talk about all the theories. Another big theory that was debunked everywhere. In fact, there was a publication that had to pull a whole story out from a doctor, is that vaccinations cause autism. That is not true. I mean, maybe so. Okay, if you want to go down the conspiracy theory, the whole fine. Maybe somebody's lying to us and they're trying to get us to take these vaccinations because, I don't know, people have been watching shows like, there's a show on Amazon called Utopia, where one madman was able to go and orchestrate this whole manipulation of the world just so he could put a vaccine out there to make the world a better place. Okay, if you believe that, that's fine. But if you want to just kind of come down to earth for a little bit, there are whole sites that you can go to. They go through every myth of anti-vaccination beliefs and they debunk them all. So you can't argue with somebody who wants to pull what they think are facts out their ass, or they're just making up stuff out of thin air. But no, people, I don't know what to do about this. On the one hand, I don't want her to get canceled. I don't think it should really affect her career. But is she putting damaging and harmful information out there? Yeah.
I understand the emotional impulse of wanting to find reason in something that has that appears so random, right? I don't have kids, but I have 2 autistic nieces and nephews, and they're my favorite people in the whole world. They're incredible. But I also understand that, like, when you there's some saying that's like having an autistic child is like thinking you're going to Italy but ending up in Denmark. No disrespect to Denmark. It's awesome. It's just not Italy. It's a different expectation. And I think that that's an important thing. It's like if you're a parent and you see like what the society perceives as a problem with your child, the first inclination is to try to find anything that explains that. So I understand a little bit people's impulse to at least explore that, much like you said, hey, I'm going to explore it because I want to be educated on it, but it's a flawed foundation. Like that's not you can't build a house on that foundation, and that's why that theory does kind of falls apart. Which I don't understand because I don't think she has any kids, right? So it's like she's just coming at it from a different kind of point of view, which is weird. But on the cancellation thing, because I do not think she should be canceled. Yeah. And by the way, we have so many other celebrities who have come out and died on this particular hill who just kept on working like it was no problem. So if there was suddenly a line in the sand to be drawn now over Letitia, when Jim Carrey and Jenny McCarthy and Jessica Biel and all of these people have come out and have said boneheaded statements, and it's never affected their career, I'm going to call bullshit on that.
I don't have a problem with questioning anything. I question authority all the time. I'd question every president that we have. I don't give a fuck who it is. I always say this, but I question everyone because I question the system. I don't believe in following any kind of notion, with any kind of naivete. But when you start learning stuff and then you learn where the sources are, where it comes from, this after reading about this person that she got this information from, I'm like, that's wacky. All right. I don't mind you questioning stuff because believe me, I'm not getting the vaccine first for COVID. I'm gonna wait to see people take this and start growing hair all over their bodies and fangs and shit. I'm not gonna be the first one in line. But I also don't subscribe to baseless conspiracy theories. I don't subscribe to people just making things up and trying to say they're facts when they obviously aren't. Do you see the danger of what's happening today? You know, with people doing that, there's a point where it goes too far either way, man. I'm not one to say she needs to get canceled. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people out there who are they're a little shook up. You know, there's a bunch of tweets out there. You know, some are funny. You know, some are lighthearted. Why is Shuri trying to kill her career? LOL. You know, here's one. Ryan Coogler rewriting the Black Panther script for the third time because of Letitia Wright. Got a guy with a cigarette in his hand, looking tired as hell. And then he has some mothers over here. You know, I thought Shuri was the smartest character in the MCU. You told me that in 2020, Shuri would be arguing under my tweet that a pandemic vaccine is demonic. You know, some people are not, at least with these that we see, they're not going after. But of course, there are people who the first thing they say is, let's cancel her. And I don't think she needs to be. And I don't think that there's a legal basis to do so, man. I mean, you know, that's her belief. She ain't breaking any laws. She's not, you know, she's not you know, maybe as much as we might feel like the information is harmful, she's not causing any direct harm herself. So, you know, I don't think you have a basis to I don't think you have any basis to counsel her. And here's the one thing: get your hands off that petition. Don't you go over there to change.org, because that's what's going to happen right now. The next thing is going to be here's a petition to fire Shuri from Black Panther 2. Stop that shit. Those petitions are bullshit. Stop. You know, I even said earlier that I don't trust anything the first time around, but I don't, you know, if I want to get information, I'm definitely not going to go to a place where it's full of people who are giving you misinformation about several things. If they're talking about misinformation about climate change, they're lying about trans people, you know, if it's people, there's a checklist, and we know this. There's a checklist of boxes for, all right, once we get to about number 3, we're going down the crazy line, you know, and I think that's where, when we see her getting her information from that video, that's where a lot of people are like, okay, I don't mind hearing an argument, but not from that crazy over there, you know, and Don Cheadle said as much, man.
I was going to ask you about the Cheadle of it all. I wanted to know what you kind of felt about that, because I thought that was a little quick draw McGraw. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like he was definitely taking a stance on the whole thing.
Letitia Wright, if you don't conform to popular opinions, but ask questions and think for yourself, you get canceled. She's responding to Don Cheadle, who says, bye, Letitia. But there was something else where he talked about, he didn't just say bye, Letitia. There was something else where he talked about how he saw the video and he went through there. And he talked about how, you know, just believing things just for believing them, you know, it's like he made a detailed and pretty intelligent response to it, and kind of saying what I'm saying, which is like, hey, I understand you questioning things, but let's not, you know, get them from people who are known for putting out not just, you know, not proper information, people putting out just theories, and pretty much theories bordering on lies and misinformation, because they have they can't back them up with any kind of fact. You know, sometimes theories, a good theory is based on knowledge that you all kind of already know, and educated guesses and bringing stuff together. And then there are people who just say a theory is a theory, but really it's just something they pulled out their ass. So, you know, we got to know the difference between which one is which. And I say that, and I'm really sticking on that, because, as I said, man, if you look at what's going on with voter fraud today, and these witnesses that are coming up in court to give, you know, their opinions on voter fraud, it's one crazy person after another, and yet we're listening to them because I don't know why, because they have opinions. Opinions are fine, but some opinions can be dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, we used to like be able to spot the crazy a little bit quicker, or at least seemingly we were able to. It doesn't seem like that's the case anymore. And by the way, I get being skeptical, like you said. I think I mentioned this on one of the previous episodes. It's like the quickest vaccine to come to market ever was 4 years. So we're doing this in about a year. And I totally get being a little freaked out about that. But I would also say that we haven't had the global kind of coalition all aimed at getting a vaccine for something that we have for coronavirus, right? So it stands to reason that would be a little bit quicker. I get being skeptical. Be skeptical if there's a bunch of the scientific community coming out and saying that. Some fucker from London who's a super religious guy who's going around being transphobic and shitty about the Chinese, probably not the most reliable source. And so it's like, I feel bad because I think it's someone falling victim. Right. We do that a lot. It's so easy to watch a video and then have our opinions formed for ourselves. It's easier than having to like critically think and to play the devil's advocate. Because the truth about the situation is that like anti-vaxxers, and they're getting better at this, by the way, they're not saying, oh, we're anti-vaxxers. They're skeptical of some of the science. They're changing the way that they talk about it. Because if you're skeptical of some part of the science, that's a debate you can have. I can reach across the aisle and say, okay, let me hear what your problems are. Maybe we can find a compromise. But when you say anti-vax, I shut you off immediately. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't even tolerate that. That's an idea that's not worth entertaining. And so this is a situation where I think she watched a video. She, obviously is a person of faith and she believes in that faith and that gives her strength. Good for her. But it shouldn't be something that you, base your medical fucking opinion on. I feel a little bit bad for her, to be honest.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the religious thing. There's two things to think about here, people. One, in the 18th century, there was an anti-vaxxer movement, and people were against it because it was the devil. That's now today it's about civil rights, or it's about personal rights. But back then it was like no vaccines because that's the work of Satan. That's the devil. You can look that up. That's one of the things that really spurred that on. So, looking at the roots of it sometimes when, before people were making it a rights issue, it was kind of weird. And the other thing is I'm a little harsher on following people, as you say, who don't apply critical thinking to the people that they're getting their information from. People who just are ready to embrace anything that feeds their fear or ignorance. I'm very harsh on that today because half this country, and we're talking about millions. We're talking about tens of millions of people who are saying crazy shit and are now being looked at as normal. That's fucking scary. So if you're getting your information from somewhere that's just pure ignorant, yes, I'm going to be harsh on you. If she says, listen to me, I got some ideas. Okay, you tell me you got it from that guy. No, get the fuck out of here with that. I'll listen because I need to know where you're coming from. But that's insane. And we need to start calling crazy for what it is. Because it's getting that's the problem now. We're not pointing out crazy when we see it. Half this country is saying, no, my word is as legitimate as yours. Well, where's your proof? Where'd you get it from? What is that? It just is. And people are saying that's good enough for me. Half this fucking country is doing that. That's insane. And insane, the insane people are taking over, man. If you ever saw Idiocracy, that's where we're going. It used to be a funny joke. Now it's that movie's a horror movie now. It's scary.
Well, what I liked about it too is one of her tweets was saying Lucifer is an interesting name when talking about like the enzyme that they're studying or whatever they're researching for the vaccine. And I'm just like, see, that's the problem is like Lucifer is real to y'all motherfuckers. So you're actually scared of it. And it's weird that we have, I don't want to call religion archaic, but I think if you're letting it literally rule your life and decisions when we've kind of proven that science, if not isn't the right way, it makes life easier, right? Like the advancements in science. It's just weird that people still are like, I don't know, that's Lucifer shit. You know what I mean? Like it's just, you can't argue with that because it becomes, I don't know, it's any of the weird shit that like the Christian pilgrims and shit would look down on, right? Like missionaries is what I'm looking for. They would go into other countries and say, that's primitive, that's beneath us, right? But it's the same kind of speculation. It's like voodoo, but a little bit like more polished. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it I don't know. It's a dumb thing, and I shouldn't be complaining about it, but I'm just so tired of it.
I'm just looking at this. I'm looking at Doomsday 519 in the chat. Doomsday, he putting in something in there that said a biologist, and this is what you're saying, Christian. A biologist explained the luciferase enzyme, and they got scared because it was Lucifer in there. So do you really think Lucifer is putting designer jeans and shit out there? Is he that fucking vain where he's got to put his brand on
Seriously,
enzymes.
like, yeah, he doesn't even have like a pseudonym, motherfucker. Like, it's like Zorro signs the fucking diseases that he makes. What are we talking about?
Like, do you
here?
think Lucifer wants you to know he's coming like that? That he's so vain that he has to actually brand his shit to get over there? Yeah, Luciferes, baby. It's on the street today. Come on, y'all. Come on.
The good
man.
news is that Lucifer is very literal. He's never going to sneak attack you. He's always going to come right from in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah, sign this contract right here. That is like signing a contract where it just says, I will fuck your life up. Oh shit, well, at least he's straightforward. Come on, man. Get out of here. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, I guess
My final verdict on it, but really quick, is she should not lose her job. She shouldn't lose anything, but she deserves to be shit on for a day. I think it's a real learning opportunity for her, and I hope that we don't all overreact like we tend to do at this point,
There are reasons to be concerned for probably some of the things that people are saying. No one, I mean, when you think about it, it does make sense. No one should just be ready to inject something into their body when they don't know where it came from or they don't know the sources of it. I understand being suspicious of something. I understand questioning things. Please question everything. That's the problem. We don't question enough. But that's another thing. The answers to questions shouldn't be bullshit answers. They shouldn't be things that are like baseless quote unquote facts. They shouldn't be nonsense. They shouldn't be conspiracy theories. People, please, put your opinion out there. But no one, while we say that this person should be allowed to express their opinion, this person should be allowed to put their ideas out there and say what they want to say. People they're also allowed to go in and call bullshit on something when they see it. So it goes both ways. You want to put something out there, people have a right, and you voiced your opinion. People have the right to voice it back. And to be honest with you, a lot of these things that you're putting out there are bullshit, and they should be called out. So, respect each other, but let's cut the bullshit with people and call it for what it is.
I don't understand how celebrities don't do the next logical step of the actions that they're about to take.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, everybody want to share their opinion, but don't want to take any. Get out of here with that. Everybody, that's the problem right now, man. Everybody, I'm moving on, but everybody got, and we can see it right now, everybody got a do as I say, not as I do opinion. That's the problem. Everybody wants to put their shit out there, but everybody wants you to smell their shit, but you don't want to smell theirs. It's
I don't think anyone should be smelling anybody's shit, Corey. I gotta tell you.
They putting a lot of shit out there, man. We shouldn't, but they putting a lot of shit out there, and they expect you to smell it, but they don't want to smell nobody else's, man. That's the problem with what we're seeing right now, man. You got all these politicians who are telling people, don't go here, don't do this, don't eat here, and then the very night after they said that, they're going over here, they're doing that, they're eating here. We've had all kind of politicians, after they told people to stay home, they went home for the holidays. They went to fancy restaurants. They went out and had a nice time. So, yeah, people, that's what we see. Everybody wants to put an opinion out there. Everybody wants to tell you something, but nobody wants to follow that. Yeah, well, full of shit.
Which, by the way, as a result, LA is back on severe lockdown. Like, we were kind of opened up again for a couple months, and now it's worse than it was when we first closed down in March. So thanks, everybody. I hope Thanksgiving was worth it.